Hello, and welcome to the Telescope Show. We laugh, discover God, and we totally nerd out. Thanks so much for joining us. My name is Matthew Seipel-Anderson.
And I'm Katie Seipel-Anderson.
And we are recording this show on Valentine's Day.
So happy belated Valentine's Day to all of you out there, and happy Valentine's to you, sweetheart.
My love, my dove.
All right, I think that's good. So since it's Valentine's Day, I have some would you rathers related to Valentine's Day. So Matt, would you rather have bright red skin or have your heartbeat loud enough for everyone in the room to hear it?
I think I would choose the loud heartbeat.
I think I would too. Bright red skin would be really hard. Although a really loud heartbeat would be a little weird. People would be wondering what's going on. Would you rather eat only red foods on Valentine's Day or eat only white foods on Valentine's Day?
Now I'm trying to think of what foods are red.
Beets are red.
I like beets. Like me some beets.
You could eat beets all day.
You could cut a beet into the shape of a heart.
Apples are red, but maybe you could only eat the skins because the insides aren't red. Would you rather eat heart-shaped dog treats or eat rose petals?
I would rather eat rose petals. Unless the heart-shaped dog treats were from one of those uber organic companies that make stuff like, high-end.
My aunt makes homemade dog treats. Shout out to Aunt Kathy for making homemade dog treats for our dog Lucy. I haven't tried one though, but I think Rosalie ate one. I think she did.
She lived to tell the tale.
Final one. Would you rather have to always write with a red pen or pencil for the rest of your life, or have to dot all your I's and J's with hearts for the rest of your life?
I'm going to go write with a red-colored pencil or a pen. How about you?
Sometimes, for some legal documents, you can't write in red because it doesn't scan well.
Here's a question. If you write on a legal document using blue pen, which they often prefer, right? So you can tell it's an original. Is it kosher to put little hearts above your eyes on a legal document?
I mean, you can. I don't really know how you define kosher from a legal perspective, but oh man.
Well, I don't have any would you rathers. I have a couple of did you knows, but they're more informational.
I love information, just not as much as you.
Well, Picard, the final season, premieres Wednesday, February 15th, the release date of this episode. Antman and Wasp, Quantum-Mania comes out just after, Friday, February 17th. But what's funny is a lot of the movie theaters have showings on Thursday, like Thursday evening. I remember they used to do midnight showings the day before, and that was always really cool. And now they're like, we do like a 9 o'clock and a midnight.
Maybe it's long enough where it kind of goes over into midnight, so technically... I don't know.
Maybe it's midnight somewhere in the world.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what the deal with the legality of that is. Maybe the contract was dotted with hearts and it voided it.
Or was written in red.
Finally, Mandalorian Season 3, Wednesday, March 1st. Hey, all three of those are third seasons.
Is Antman and Wasp really called a season, though?
Well, excuse me, a third installment.
There we go.
A triquel. Threequel. Moving right along. Today's episode, we're going to actually talk about Antman and Wasp and Picard. Looking forward to those two shows. This is kind of a preview show. It's been kind of a dry spell as far as new big content has
new
gone.
Mainstream content.
Yeah. Yes.
We've been learning a lot about kind of the non-mainstream stuff, though, that's out there, which is a lot of fun, too. So according to the reviews, Kang actually steals the show in Antman. How do you think that's going to work? Or do you think that's even going to... Well, I guess we don't really know if it's going to be true, but...
Yeah, it's a matter of opinion. I think it is going to be true. Because, Ant-Man is a cool character, but he's just not that spicy of a character. He's not like a Tony Stark, right? He's kind of has more of an understated personality. He has a big heart, but he's not, just not the most spicy character.
Well, that I would agree with that. That's true. He kind of feels a little bit more sidekicky.
Kang might steal the show, and that's okay.
And you can be a pretty awesome superhero and not be spicy. Some of us non-spicy ones get a chance to shine, too.
Yeah, you need the queso and the potato chip.
Corn chip.
Corn chip.
I don't eat my queso with potato chips. I'm just saying. It doesn't have to be a super out there character for it to be a solid superhero.
Right, and actually, in a lot of movies, what makes a great duo is one of the characters is understated, which makes space for the other one to be over the top and crazy.
And Kang just seems like well set up to be that.
And they're building him into the next big bad that's going to be across the whole MCU. And so, yeah, they need to really show him off. So this question is not in the notes, but I'm curious to ask you, as a mom, say you lost a number of years with your kids.
Just don't ask me this.
And someone like Kang, even though he's in a creepy purple suit, offers you the chance to go back and regain those years. Would you be tempted to do it?
Well, of course I'd be tempted to do it. I do think that I would think of the repercussions for my own child in that regard, as well as the whole world and universe.
Right, because even though things maybe aren't ideal, they could always be worse.
They could be, and it can feel very unfair if you miss out on things, but I don't know, trying to go backwards and fix everything doesn't always seem like the best. It seems like you could just make a bigger mess out of everything. Sometimes you just have to kind of cut your losses and move forward and say, I'm going to make the best I can of the future.
That's like a huge moral for a life, I think.
As Christians, we believe that like when we ask for forgiveness, we can kind of let go of that past mistakes, past stuff that's happened. And even if you've like in the past people have wronged you or something, like forgiveness and letting go of that is really kind of one of the keys, I think, to moving forward.
I also think that sometimes you have seasons where you feel disappointed, not because of even like a blatant sin or wrongdoing or failure in your life, but just because things don't go the way you hoped or expected. And it can be hard to move on, but do you think, or let me put it this way, it can be hard to move on, but I think in God there can be grace for that too.
Agreed. And maybe Antman doesn't know God that way, so maybe he makes a wrong choice.
I don't know. We're going to have to see. I'm very curious to see how Ant-Man's going to play out. Very curious to see how it's going to play into the future of the MCU. So also, we've got Star Trek Picard. The previous season had a lot of time stuff. I don't know about this next season if it's going to have that. The next season, judging by the previews, seems like it's more of a straightforward, there's a new bad guy who's gunning for revenge, and Picard has to pull together his friends and try to win the day.
I think with both of these shows coming up, though, there's kind of a key relationship thing happening, because some of the clips have talked about, like, I think in Ant-Man, there's a clip that talks about how he's, like, basically going to destroy his life. This bad guy is going to destroy his life. And it shows clips of, like, his family, so you know that he's referring to his family as kind of his life.
Wait, is it this clip?
Let me make this easy for you. You will bring me what I need. Or everything you call a life will end.
Yeah, pretty much. The only thing we can't show you in the podcast is the kind of flashbacks to his family.
Yeah. How Kang could go back in time and erase.
And the same thing with Picard. You know, he needs like his team to help, it seems like, to help fight this enemy. But there's also a clip in that one that talks about something about how I'm like slowly going to destroy you. And it seems to reference people in his life that may be help define him or help make him who he is. I don't know, we'll see, but it seems like both of these are a little bit relationship based, kind of the heart behind them or the storyline.
Yeah, I agree.
Relationships are important in our lives.
I was nervous about this third season of Picard because the previous two seasons were enjoyable, but maybe didn't hit it out of the park for me. And then I saw, in season 3, there are all these characters from the next generation, and I thought, it's just going to be a nostalgia trip. They're going to find these contrived ways to bring these old characters back. However, I read a review that basically said this third season is amazing, and it blows the first 2 seasons out of the water. The way they bring in the old characters is good and believable, and so I'm pumped for Picard Season 3.
I'm actually pretty pumped for both of these.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun to see how they actually play out. The previews are very gripping, or at least gripping enough for me to really want to see them.
In this article I read, they made this comment that says something like, Star Trek fans aren't as into callbacks to previous eras. And that's the thing that you see a lot in Star Wars, especially. Star Wars is always referencing the original trilogy because people are so nostalgic for that. But they said in the Star Trek fandom, people are more interested in just spending more time with the characters they know and love.
You know, I kind of think that's true for me too. Although Star Wars, I'm not probably as nostalgic about the original 3. But for sure, the original 3 does still hold some of that for me.
And so with that in mind, I thought this clip was pretty cool.
I need you. All of you.
We're with you. Always.
Engage. Well, are you enjoying this? Of course not. Are you?
I just thought that was so great. It really illustrates the love that these characters feel and the love we kind of feel for them. Because when you watch a lot of Star Trek, you really do feel a connection. Like you actually literally have spent a lot of time with these characters.
That's a fitting statement for our Valentine's Day show.
Yeah.
Relationships and the importance of relationships in our life.
And so much of the time in faith, we talk about a relationship with God. And of course, that's extremely important. But something that's very, very scriptural in Christianity is relationship with each other, even to the point of the believers are called the body of Christ. And it's kind of a cool concept. And God actually can minister to you through other people in unique ways because of who those unique people are.
And I think he designed us that way, to have those kind of relationship needs and desires that we can fulfill for each other. Community is important.
Yeah, and that takes some of the emphasis off of having a romantic relationship and having that be the thing that's fulfilling for you. So no matter if you're married or single or widowed or divorced, having those relationships in the context of faith can be very meaningful and can be a way that God can actually get through to you in unique ways. And it's actually part of your relationship with God is to have a relationship with other people. Well, folks, we're excited about the future of these shows. We would love for you to connect with us. You can do that by heading over to our website, thetelescopeshow.com. We are going to be running a very special contest coming up for episode 150. We're going to be posting a Would You Rather question.
Or maybe a couple.
And we will read them on our next episode, episode 150. So be on the lookout for those. If you post an answer to those questions, we will enter you into a drawing to win a bunch of comic books.
By bunch, you mean like 4, right?
Oh, I'm going to get more.
Oh, well.
There'll be at least 5.5.
Oh, that would be really quite rude. You have half a comic, you're not going to know how it ends. Or how it started, maybe. You just give them the ending.
Wait till episode 200 to get your other half a comic book.
Oh, man, that would be mean.
All right, love y'all. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.